Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai hara mai ki UFC on Sky, ko Ravinda Hunia tōku ingoa. This weekend, UFC 310 will be going down in Las Vegas, and here to break it down with me today is co-host Dan Hooker. Kia ora e hoa. Here we are, finally, UFC 310 is happening.
Yeah, final pay-per-view of the year, and it's we've only got one show next week, but it's our last big show for the year, so time's moving very quickly. But it is an incredible card. This card is stacked top to bottom. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've spoken about, you know, what's on the line here for fighters on this side of the world, especially Kai Kara-France, when we look at, again, Pantoja versus Kai Asakura and the implications of the result that may have on Kai.
Yeah, well, for Kai Kara-France, it's like if Pantoja wins, Kai Kara-France is the next in line. Like, they've got Kai Asakura here as like a new injection into Flyweight, so the same group of guys don't continually fight each other. So if Kai Asakura gets his hand raised, then there is options. You know, we haven't seen him fight Brandon Moreno. We haven't seen him fight Royval. Yeah. Kai Kara-France is obviously still there as an option, but we've seen Pantoja beat both Royval and Moreno multiple occasions. So Kai Kara-France is head and shoulders the next guy in line should Pantoja get his hand raised.
And joining us from Las Vegas is the current defending and reigning UFC Flyweight champion, Alexandre Pantoja. Kia ora and welcome to UFC on Sky.
Hello guys, how are you?
Very good to see you. You've been on this show once before and it was very exciting before your last title fight. And now here you are again, coming up against your Japanese opponent in Kai Asakura. I first wanted to ask you why this fight was the right choice for you, because there's so many opponents in this division for you right now in the top 5.
Yeah, I had so many opponents, but I'm real fighting to everybody too, you know, and I think that's good for me, you know. I'm super happy for have a new challenger, you know, someone nobody expect to fight, a former champ, you know, from Rising. I feel like this is like a crossover in UFC and Rising, and I think I don't need to apologize for anyone in my division, you know, because I already fight with everybody. And especially the number 1, there's number 2. I beat the guys twice in the last years, you know.
Absolutely. It's the unknown that's very exciting, right? That no one's seen this guy in the UFC before on an MMA stage and against the champion.
That's something you see how big UFC, you know, go to the Asia and buy a champion to fight with the champion. That's something is very special, and I feel very glad to be the first to do that. UFC champion versus some champion for another promotion, you know. I think that's opening a big opportunity for every fighters of the world, you know, for every promotions. If UFC think it makes sense, I think especially in my division, because I'm fighting to everybody too. But something is big, you know. I think that's big. That's like a new step for UFC. I'm very glad. I'm super excited. But I train a lot for that fight, you know. After my fight in Untertag in Rio, I take a little break off, and it make me very good, you know, because I have more time with my family, and then I can rest. Because I make a 3 title fight in 10 months, you know, and now I can like self just for that fight and enjoy all my camp and training camp. I make a very good training camp for that one, and I feel healthy. Not just my body, but in my mind.
Because you obviously been very active. You say 3 title fights in 10 months. The flyweight division in general is very active at the moment. The top 5, top 6 are all fighting each other, and they're all fighting each other to face you, you know, ultimately for a chance or another chance at the title. But fighting Kai Asakura, what does that mean for you and your legacy moving forward when you look back at your, you know, championship career? How is this fight going to, you know, validate that championship bout that you hold? Because you, as you say, you've beaten everybody else.
The opportunity to fight with a rising champ, you know, that's huge for me, you know, and especially because he's a bantamweight, a big fighter, you know, and he make fight to Manel Cape, he fight to Kyoji Higuchi. Kyoji Higuchi is my teammate, partner, and one of the best trainers I have in all my life. And the opportunity to fight with someone I never expect. Someone is like I say, is a champion, and he's a big star in Japan, and that's a market I want to go in, uh, I really want to go to Japan to fight it there too, that's someone like a fighter, that's like a dream for me too, go to the arena of all the good fighters fighting inside Tam Arena, and I think that's gonna be open, after my, but and the opportunity UFC give to me to fight with the best fights all the world, My last fight is a from Mexican. I fight with a Mexican. I fight with American. I fight with Australian, and now I have an opportunity to fight with the Japanese. That's a dream for me.
That is pretty exciting. And I'm not saying that it would ever get boring in the UFC as the champion, but how much has this fight and preparing for Kai Asakura excited you in your UFC career, preparing for someone different, and as you say, the prospect of looking forward and going into Japan later on?
Yeah, Asakura, what I see, he's a very dangerous fight. He have a spectacular knees. He throw a knee with I never see someone throw knee like him. Something very different as a gift he have. But I really thinking about a more complete fight. Because my grappler is like two steps, and but something I see too. Asakura, he never got a submission, he never, nobody never finished him with the jiu-jitsu, and that's something I want to work in, that's something make me motivation to fight with Asakura, make me a lot of motivation, I'm training a lot to make a good impression, and especially because people thinking about bring someone to fight with the champion, you see how about the levels, I think it's a lot of guys want to see that. A lot of guys want to see the Japanese champion. A lot of people talking about a new champion for flyweight is gonna be nice, but not for me. I'm training a lot. And the and fight is special. I fight for myself, of course, but my family, my friends, my coaches expect the victory. Me and my universe work a lot for that moment. We ready for that. We ready for Asakura.
Hey mate, so obviously down here in New Zealand, we're big Kai Kara France supporters. Is that a potential next matchup for you if you get your hand raised this weekend?
That's funny when he say the guys put a wrong Kai to fight.
That's right.
Yeah, but but that's beautiful fight. What he did with Ercheg is beautiful. But I think it, of course, when people talk about that fight for me, Kai Kara France or Ercheg, I know Kai Kara France had the big hands, the overhands. That's a big weapon, and Ercheg have like the perfect spot for that overhand, because he's tall. And I think their check making a huge mistake thinking about maybe he fight with me and make a 5 rounds, a very tough fight, and maybe he thinks it's gonna be easy with Kai Kara France, but that's a huge mistake, I fight with the Kai Kara France in the ultimate fights. That's a very different situation, everybody in the house is a champion, a lot of pressure on that moment. But I think it's not the time for Kai Kara France. I think we don't need to apologize for him because he come for 2 losses and then he make a beautiful win with Ercheg. But the Kai Asakura bring a new blood for the division. I think everybody's super excited for watching the fight. But I'm agree with you, and I believe 100% Kai Kara France have the chance to fight for the belt. And I hope I'm the guy to fight with him. I hope they hold this belt to have the opportunity to fight with the Kai Kara France. Maybe not in Australia, because it's too far for me. Maybe it's in America. I don't know, but definitely Australia, New Zealand is some place that I really want to go. I'm from like a little island in Rio, and that's so pretty, so beautiful. I have the ocean all across my sides. I see the sunset and the sunshine in the ocean. That's something very special we have there. And I know New Zealand's beautiful like that.
So we see you got the new look off camera. You said that you had a surprise for this weekend. Can you give us a little insight into what that surprise is?
Yeah, I think I want to bring more. I feel more comfortable in that moment. When I go to a fighter check in Rio, I have a pressure because I'm fighting Brazil, and everybody expect the victory. And 10 months, 3 fights, my body is super tired, and I know I need to give to the victory for everyone. In this moment right now, I feel like I'm relaxed. I'm enjoy a lot my time like a champ. I'm enjoying my life, my wife, my kids, everybody together, and I feel happy, comfortable with that position. I'm enjoy all the steps. And I think this is gonna show in the fight. All my all my work, all my work inside the gym, outside, like a father, like a husband, like a man. I think this is gonna be everybody can see that when I'm fighting Saturday. I want to make a very big show. My last three fights, all the fights go to the decisions, with a very good fights, back and forth. But right now, I want to make an easy fight. I want to make it easy for me and for my family, for my friends, because everybody say, please don't make that with my heart. And I'm expecting something more calm and comfortable. I want to finish quick.
Nice. Well, it's very exciting. We can't wait to see you in action and to see what Kai Asakura brings to the UFC on debut as well. But all the very best, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's always good to talk to you guys. And I see you soon.
Joining us now from Las Vegas is UFC flyweight Kai Asakura. Kai, welcome to UFC on Sky. Kai, first question, fighting outside of Asia, outside of Japan, outside of Korea, which you've had a little experience there as well. How are you finding Las Vegas so far?
I'm very excited to be part of so many worldwide fighters, and my goal has always been to be able to compete at this level. So I'm very excited to be here.
While fighting in Japan, has you been watching the UFC?
Since I started playing as an amateur, UFC has always been something that has been very appealing and for me. So I've always been a fan.
So why was going to the UFC now the right time for you?
僕の格闘技の最終目標が
My ultimate goal was to be a part of the UFC, but first I wanted to achieve a goal in Japan and kind of carry on a lot of my Japanese fans to here and bring them to the UFC, kind of set the ground for that.
Has he felt any pressure at all coming to the UFC with that pressure of, not just making a debut, but making an impressive first impression in a championship fight?
Actually, I feel no pressure. In Japan, I was doing a lot of the main events, and I had a lot of fun. I put on a good show. It was a great experience. So this feels kind of normal for me, and maybe even a little bit of less pressure.
Hey Kai, so Dan Hooker here. So this will be your first fight down at Flyweight, maybe early on in your career, but you've been competing at the highest level there in Ryzen at Bantamweight. So how's the weight cut going down to Flyweight for this weekend?
I did have experience previously in the flyweight, and then when I changed the bantamweight, I didn't have to do much of the weight cut. So right now I'm in my optimum condition for recovery. My speed has improved, my skills have improved. So yeah, that's what I feel.
What would it mean for you to make your debut and become a UFC flyweight champion? Because we know that this is your debut. There's many other flyweights that want to have the chance to fight for the title, so there's somewhat of a target on your back. So what happens if you win the UFC flyweight title? What does that mean to you?
I am so grateful to be able to have this chance to go for a title on my debut. I feel like I have the skill to win, and I want to be able to show that. And I hope to make an impact in the UFC and as well as be an influence in Japan. So I hope to be that powerful influence.
しっかり僕が勝てばね。
Nice one. Thank you so much for joining us, Kai. All the very best for this weekend. We'll be watching from here in New Zealand.
Thank you.
Also, joining us from Las Vegas today is Ian Garry. Kia ora, Ian Garry, and welcome to UFC on Sky for the very first time.
I appreciate it. It's great to be here. How are you guys doing?
Good,
Yeah, we're good, thank you. You're looking happy, looking calm and comfortable. How's it going?
It's hard not to be happy when you get to take on the biggest challenge of your life. You get to step in, short notice, go out here against the boogeyman and, yeah, shock the world. So I'm ready to go. I'm excited. The energy's good.
Yeah, so I guess the common conception is that he is the boogeyman, but you yourself have trained with him. You've been able to get your hands on him before. I know you're not too much of a man to kiss and tell, but how do you feel like those training sessions went?
I mean, Dan, you know yourself, when you train, you're training. You're not fighting, right?
Yeah,
you're going out there, you're trying to improve, you're trying to grow, you're trying to try new shots, try new entries, try do all these things. You're not going out there focused on just pummeling through this person. You know what I mean? You're not doing that. So for me, training is training. It's something that you have good sessions with, and you go out there, and sometimes, like when you're in that fight prep, you're giving everything a bit more realistic and you're practicing. But at the end of the day, I've never had a fight camp or a sparring session with Shavkat where I'm preparing for Shavkat. I'm going out here now on Saturday night, and the world's going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of the fight game. We can talk about what happened in the gym. We can talk about my success, his success. Do it on Saturday night. Show the world in front of millions. Everyone's going to be watching undefeated versus undefeated, 18-0 versus 15-0. Who really is the number one contender? I'm going to show everyone why I'm better than them.
Yeah. Do you feel like, because you've obviously changed camps in there, you're out at Shooter Box with Charles Oliveira and stuff. What do you feel like your biggest improvements have been since those training sessions with Shavkat?
I mean, I'm someone who values growth and knowledge and evolution so much, especially in a fight game that's ever evolving. You can never stay still. You can never be static. You know, I've had the ability and the blessings to be able to travel the world and train jiu-jitsu with Damian Maya. You know, I've been out with Frank Hickman in Thailand recently doing a little bit of wrestling defense, and I'm sure you know how amazingly talented he is. It's just something I find so important in my game, because it's so beneficial to constantly evolve and never stay the same. So for me, it's my grappling has improved tenfold. My striking and my shot selection has improved to a far more elite option. I'm choosing the right shots at the right times. I'm minimizing errors, and I'm being a more intelligent fighter.
Yeah, because like obviously from experience myself, it's those fighters that do prioritize the skill and improvement and learning and trying new things in trial and error in training. They are the ones that stand out they do last a longer period of time than the fighters that come in the gym, they crash, they try to beat everyone up, they try to prove. Do you feel like Shavkat was one of those fighters in the gym where he wasn't prioritizing improvement and was more prioritizing just trying to win a sparring session, which no one's getting paid for?
Nah, Shavkat's a dog. I'll give him respect on that. He just brings it.
Yeah.
Like, he just brings it. Like, he goes off to Kazakhstan and travels and learns where he comes and where he goes. And then he came to Florida. He came about a month out from fight camp, and it was, I'm here to get pushed. He would spar all of the best guys in the gym. He would come in, he would focus on just getting the hard rounds in, and he had a lot of success. And it's something that you got to look at and appreciate. Like, the people that come in and push themselves against the best guys, they're the guys who are going to succeed. They're the guys who are going to come in. Like, the amount of times I've got my ass handed to me in training because I'm trying to go out there and learn and grow and put myself in positions where I'm learning. Do you know what I mean? You have to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget, like, Kevin Lee great wrestler, really, really strong in the, like, once he gets a hold of you. I'll never forget some advice he gave me. I'll never forget advice Gilbert and Maya and Charles and all of these guys have given me because I'm trying to push myself. This inevitably builds those little kind of bricks that you just build a mountain from, that you learn. You go, I remember not to do that. I remember to do this instead. And you just, it's one of those things. So there's no benefit in being a gym hero. You got to go out there under the bright lights and the biggest stages and perform that way. And all I've ever done is win. So I'm doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And look, when you talk about taking on those challenges and opportunities, this is one of them, taking on this fight against Shavkat. You were originally slated for next weekend in Tampa, Florida, but this opportunity came. Was it just a no-brainer to take this fight with Shavkat?
Yeah, 100%. It's too much of a... I said to my team a while ago, when I found out there was no one above me available to fight because Usman was running, Kobe was running, no one was saying yes, and then there was a couple of guys matched or injured. I was like, I don't want to fight down again. I did that. I'm not excited by fighting down the rankings again. I'll do it if I absolutely have to, because I'd rather be active than not fight. If there's an opportunity to be the backup for the world title fight in Shavkat versus Bilal, let me be the backup. So I said I would do that. The UFC turned around and said, no, we don't need that. Funny how the world works, right? So I was mentally already wanting to be in that position, being ready, preparing for either of those guys mentally. And then the day happened, Bilal pulled out, and I said, you know what? I'm going to sit back. UFC is going to call me, and we're going to get this over the line, and I'm going to fight Shavkat, and I'm going to go out there and shock the world.
That's interesting you say that, because Joaquin Buckley came out, Kamaru Usman came out. They all wanted Shavkat as well. For the exact same reason you're saying, is to get that shot at the title one fight after. Why do you think the UFC said Ian Garry's the guy for the job?
Why on earth would Shavkat fight Joaquin Buckley? Kamaru Usman hasn't got the balls to fight Shavkat. There's no way. Language, sorry. There's no way. He turned both me and Shavkat down. You know, you want to sit down on his little podcast. I'm the daddy of the welterweight division. The world's going to see. Well, then take the opportunity to fight me. Take the opportunity to fight Shavkat. Truth is, he didn't. He said no, and he slithered away, hid in a little cave, and hasn't come out since. And watch, he'll come out with some excuse. But the truth is, he and I both know, Shavkat knows, he wants nothing to do with us. Now, when you've got undefeated versus undefeated, 8-0 in the UFC, 6-0 in the UFC, the two guys that everyone know are on a path to that title. When the world champion pulls out and they need someone to call, am I not the obvious guy to give a call to?
I feel like I've offended you.
Yeah.
No, but it's the truth.
Fire them up. I like it.
It's too hard to just say it as it is. It's just simple as.
How much fire in the belly does that give you, knowing that you're 15-0, he's 18-0, and someone's always got to go?
I'm focusing on 16-0. Number 16 is the number in my head. I ain't got to focus on anything else, just 16. If I focus on 16-0, that is making sure that I am the best version of me, and whatever he comes at me with, I'm prepared for and ready to deal with. And I don't necessarily think this is going to be a simple fight. I believe Shavkat's one of the best fighters in the world, and regardless of what happens on Saturday night, me and Shavkat are going to meet each other a couple of times, maybe 3 times in our career, and it's going to be exciting because I believe he is that much better than everyone else, and I am that much better than everyone else, that regardless of the outcome, we're going to find our paths cross multiple times. So 16-0, undefeated, the number 1 contender in the world. He'll go off and fight whoever he needs to fight to get back into title contention. I'll go out there and I'll take care of business against Bilal whenever he's ready to compete.
Sounds like the perfect plan, Ian.
Sounds like a plan. And it's very hard to not believe
I just got to sit here and tell it, right?
With his jersey on.
You see it. You know what? It's written, right? I've already been gifted. I'm simply here to receive.
Well, look, Ian, we will be watching in anticipation. This is a, highly anticipated fight this weekend, and we're wishing you all the best from here in New Zealand. And hopefully we'll see you back sometime in the next half of next year fighting for that belt.
You'll see that. Don't worry. That belt's getting strapped around my waist, and we're bringing it back to Ireland.
Lovely.
All the best, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best. Have a great day.
Cheers, bro.